שלום, אני הולכת לדבר באנגלית כי זה השפת אם שלי ורק עליתי ארצה לפני שנתיים. אני מקווה שזה בסדר. אני רוצה לדבר על קודם כל למה עברתי לארץ. I decided to move here because I wanted to rediscover my שורשים, but also because I'd heard a lot about the startup nation and I was very intrigued as to how it worked and why it worked. For me, it all began when I met two guys on a bench 2 years ago in Purim, who today have their startup in the Microsoft Accelerator. And I was really inspired by their way of life, their way of thinking, and it really proved that there were Israeli entrepreneurs because until then I'd only read about it. I also wanted to discover why there are so many entrepreneurs in Israel. Here is my equation: spontaneous plus rational equals entrepreneur. If you think about the typical Israeli, and you can probably think that they're very spontaneous, like most of you. I'll talk to a friend and she'll tell me about a concert in Kikar Rabin and I'll ask her, when is it? And she'll say in half an hour, and I'm most likely to go. Whereas in England, where I grew up, it would require a 2-week notice in my diary. That combined with the rational, do as much as you can with what you've got and do it in the best way that you can is what I believe makes an entrepreneur, and which is why I think so many Israelis are entrepreneurs. If you think about a playground and you find a stick and a ball and you see tons of kids, they'll probably come up with many games for just a stick and a ball, and that's the combination of being spontaneous and rational. So I decided to apply this theory to my parents' house when they told me that their old house is being demolished. I thought of really transforming it. After talking to some friends about just doing a party with hammers and spray, I thought, why not really actually transform the house into a world that no one had ever seen before? So firstly, I set up a team, which as everyone knows is crucial to implement an idea. Believers, logistics, amazing curators. And then we did an open call, and we had about 200 artists proposing tons and tons of ideas. But we had 3 rules in order for the artists to be admitted into this adventure. Number 1, that they use all the materials of the house, because this is, again, being very rational. Using the materials and using the house as some sort of inspiration. Here's one proposal that actually transformed into a beautiful piece, Maya Gelfman. Rule 2 was that they be spontaneous. We gave a very short period of time, which was actually 3 days, whereby the artists, some of them slept over, some of them didn't sleep, but it was very important for me that it would be done in this spontaneous way and that not a lot of time would be put into the preparation. Here's a chandelier that was made out of all the lights and fans. The artist literally came into the house, spontaneously acted, and took all the fans out of the ceiling, which was amazing. This is some furniture made out of the shutters. And yeah, there were amazing, amazing pieces. I wanted to talk about basically what it meant as well, apart from being spontaneous and rational, to be an entrepreneur in this event. There was a lot of teamwork, there was a lot of collaboration, and everyone that participated was volunteering, which was amazing. And the overall result was that we sold 45 pieces of art. We raised 140,000 shekels, and we split it between 2 charities and the artists. And we had 3,000 visitors, which for me was a great outcome because we know how Israelis are with their geographical distances. And yeah, these are some more pieces. And we all were working towards a cause. This was the kitchen that was transformed into a live photography set. We all had it in mind that we wanted to raise and sell, and this is one of the pieces now in the owner's house. So everyone that came kind of got a piece of the moment. The whole project was called Once I Was a House, and the idea was to create art in an unusual space for artists. This was a sofa that was turned into concrete that was actually very comfortable. It was placed in the swimming pool, which isn't usually where you place a sofa. So we combined 2 elements that you wouldn't usually think of combining. It was also important that it didn't feel like an exhibition or a museum, but rather that when the viewer came, they really felt like a voyager walking through the house. And they got lost in this world of art that every corner they looked at, there was something else. Kids came, and it was amazing, and that was probably the highlight for me because when I was younger, my mom used to force me to go to museums, and to watch all these kids getting so excited was incredible. I wanted to talk to you about 3, this is the last slide before Sylvie. I wanted to talk to you about 3 lessons that I learned from this project and as being a young female entrepreneur in Israel. that one, never attempt to be a perfectionist because nothing will ever work perfectly, and it's always best to make something unusual, fun, and unique. 2, that teamwork is of course crucial. I was writing ideas on Microsoft Word for a year until I brought a team together and it started happening. And 3, that you are going to meet a lot of cynical people along the way. And like Ronen was saying, just believe in your idea, because usually if you come up with an idea, it will only work if you really do it and believe in it. So if you go to the next slide, here is something a bit personal, but I wanted to share it with this intimate group that doesn't look so intimate now, but big bar. But I would rate my belief in Once I Was a House out of 10. So 1 is I don't believe in it at all, and 10 is I believe in it. And I would, at the end of each week, add it to my whiteboard. So the low one is when I met someone very cynical and she said, just bring a lot of art to the house, no one's gonna create art out of your house. So the next day, I wanted to lift up the graph, and I met up with 5 artists who were so excited about the project, and they motivated me to continue. Another low day, over there, if you can see, it says storms. We had the worst storms the weekend that we were launching the house, but the whole group motivated each other, and the day we opened the doors, the sun came out. So obviously my graph was working with the weather, but it was an amazing accomplishment. So now this graph I'm using for my current project. I've learned to now do it on the computer instead of a whiteboard, but my current project is actually combining the imagination with technology. So similar to Once I Was a House, which was combining art and unusual materials, now I'm actually also working with 1M, but combining dreams with an application, which is something that you wouldn't usually expect, to kind of share your dreams and record your dreams and paint your dreams. But I'd like to basically say to you that sometimes you can mix things that you don't usually expect to mix, and ask you all what you can mix today.